Okay, so I hope you learned a little bit about why you received the name that you did, and let's get into the significance of your name. So, your name gives you your identity, it tells others who you are. Throughout our lives, we will identify ourselves by many, many names. Okay, maybe like the mascot of the school or the name of the town where we live in. Okay, we will associate very many names with ourselves throughout our lives, and it really is part of who we are. And in confirmation, okay, there is kind of a tie with the very first sacrament that we received, which was baptism. Okay, we received not only our given name, the name that our parents gave us, but we also we became Catholic. And at your baptism, you were called by name. The priest said your name and then christened you as a child of God. You entered into the Catholic community by the name that your parents gave you. Okay, so that was not your decision. That was one your parents made for you. And I hope you figured out or had a good conversation about why you were named the way that you were. Hopefully it was something a little bit more interesting than Scrabble tiles. Okay. So as part of the preparation for the sacrament of confirmation, you have the privilege and also the responsibility to choose your confirmation name. And that is something that we're going to talk about in this session tonight. Coming up or deciding on a name for our confirmation. Okay, so by taking a name for confirmation, it is a sign that you are starting a new life. Remember, we said in that very first slide that God often and Jesus gave new names to people that he was giving them a task, some kind of new job. And taking a new name in confirmation is a sign that you are starting a new life in the eyes of the church. Okay, remember your life before this was kind of blocked out a little bit. You are ready to begin living your life in a new way, and you are ready to start serving God. And you're going to start serving God in a way that's not anybody else, not your parents, not your guardians, not your grandparents, not anyone. It is you. Okay, so it is a sign that you are ready to serve God. Too far there, sorry. Okay, God calls on each of us to fulfill a special mission. It might be helping the poor, being a peacemaker, or one of many other callings. For me, it was being a teacher. Okay, for my sister, it was being a nurse. Okay, confirmation, it can be a continuation of the mission that you began at baptism or the start of an entirely new mission altogether. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Okay, but choosing the name is a commitment and reminder of the difference we want to make, the gifts and talents that we want to use to really help others in the world around us. So and let me just move myself over here very quickly so that I'm not in the way. You will actually have two confirmation names. Now, if you remember from the last session, and if you haven't watched that last session, please go back and watch that, answer the questions. You are going to have two confirmation names. The first one is going to be of your choosing. The second is going to be Matthias. Because we actually call this the Matthias Project or Project Matthias, we are going to have Matthias be your second confirmation name because we want Saint Matthias to intercede for you. Remember, we are challenged to step up and be the 12th apostle, and Matthias is going to guide us through our lives. So that's why there's going to be two confirmation names. Also, a question that came up after the last session, do I have to do a report on Matthias? No, you don't need to learn more about Matthias. There's no special report for St. Matthias that needs to be completed. We are just challenged to step up like he did and become that 12th apostle and to spread the good news of God and Jesus and the gospel and really be that role model to others in our lives. So you don't have to do a report, but your second name will be Matthias. All right. So, one of the things that I'm wondering, and I want you to answer on this slide, are there any names that you are currently considering or that you've already decided upon? If you don't have a name yet, that is perfectly fine. All you have to say is no or not yet. And I'm interested to see what you're considering so far. So go ahead and answer that over to that side. Okay, what names are you currently considering or have you already decided?